We're beginning Be'ez Hashem Siman Chaf Aleph, Sefer Vayoel Moshe, Maamar Shalosh Shevuos. And the subject is that the Rabbi is discussing that before the Geula, Yidden won't come back there to Israel altogether. There will be a few, but not everybody. And therefore you can't say, like the Avnei Nezer, that it's possible in certain circumstances, if the Goyim give permission for all the Yidden to come, that it won't be an Aveir of the Shalosh Shevuos to go up. That's what he's trying to prove. So therefore, he brings a proof from the Rabbi in Masechta Edius, that the Rabbi says, we're going to see, the Rabbi says that even after the Geula comes, even after Hashem gathers in the Yidden from Galus, he won't bring them right away to Eretz Yisrael, but he'll bring them into a different place first.
Yeah, that's the Lashon of Kibbutz. That's the Lashon of Kibbutz, is gathering in a place, get ready and gather back to the destined place.
Yeah, so therefore, Kal v'chomer, that we won't go to Eretz Yisrael before the Geula. Yeah, even when the Geula comes, we won't go to Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah, this isn't the cardinal to distinguish the Lashon of Kibbutz, Asaf, Karesh, and Kal. So Kibbutz is the lowest level of gathering.
Uva Perik Beis, the Masechta Edius, Mishnah Tes Isa. It says there, Uva Mispar Adoyres Lefanov, V'hu HaKetz. Now to understand the Mishnah better, take a look in the Maamar sheet, page 1. It says, Hu Hayo Omer. Rabbi Kiva used to say also, Ha'av Zoich LeBen. The father can give over to the Ben different qualities that he has. B'noi, with his beauty, with koyach, with his strength, with oisher, and his wealth, with chachma, and you could teach him chachma, or maybe it's a genetic thing, with shanim, and his longevity, with misprad. Okay, and then with misprad doiris lefanav v'hu haketz. This is what we're quoting, that the Av can help the son by bringing him closer to the Geula, because Hashem has a cheshbon of doiris to the Geula. Besides the fact that Hashem has a cheshbon of years, he also has a cheshbon of generations. And this father, any father, is bringing his son one generation closer to the Geula.
Yes.
Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Koirei adoiris merosh. Hashem reads the generations from the beginning, and he has a plan when the Geula will come, in what generation. Even though Hashem gave an end in years to the Galus Mitzrayim, 400 years, and when he's talking to Abraham Avinu here, he's telling him it will be 400 years. But the Nemar also says V'dor Revi Yashuvu Heina, that the fourth generation will come back there to Israel. So it depends on generations as well. So the Ravid here is on the bottom here. It's one of the Mefarshim. And he says, Tema, Mani Tema, I have a kasha. Lamu hu noisten beis kitzim b'shanim v'doros. How can Hashem give two different end times, one in years and one in generations? Which is it? V'oid kashali, another kasha, ha'ad katoni afapi. This is it says, even though it says, Shneimar ba'avodim b'inu oisam arba me'ah shana, even though it's 400 years, still, v'amar do'ar revi yashuvu hengam. So he says, "My apapi ikahacha." What's the even though? V'haloi zekates the shibud, zekates the bias arts. They're not a steer. These two end times are not a steer, because one is talking about that they'll be slaves in Mitzrayim for 400 years, or till the end of 400 years from Yitzchak's birth, and the other one's talking about that they'll come back there to Israel in the fourth generation. So it's not a steer. Ubein zel zeh mem shanim. Between the two things, there was 40 years when the Yidden were in the Midbar. But nearly, so the Ravid answers that one kasha answers the other. In the Chanami, one's for the Shibud, one's for the coming to Eretz Yisrael. The high the kamer of a mispredoris the fun of who akates hachinami kamer. That's proof what it means. It means that there's two different end times. The Galus Yisrael, even though there's a year when the Galus will end, or the Shibud Shalhem, their subjugation to the nations, for the good things that Hashem is going to give to us at the end of Galus, that's totally in generations. He sees that there's going to come a generation that's going to be tzaddikim. So Hashem waits until that generation comes, and then they'll receive that reward. V'chein haya b'shivu Mitzrayim. So the Rabbi says that's what happened by Mitzrayim, right? Avapish and Nigalu, even though they came out of Mitzrayim.
They weren't brought right away. They were brought to a place getting ready to leave, which is the lashon of kibbutz.
They were mukabitz. They were gathered to the midbar. Shenigalu b'soifar b'am me'eshana loy shavu l'shavas ba'aretz. They didn't come back to Eretz Yisrael ad doira shel Yehoshua. V'chein haya b'galus Bavel b'soif shivim nigalu. The end of 70 years from the first galus Yoyachin, there was a geula, or maybe it was from Nebuchadnezzar's ascent to power. But there was a case. There was two stages in the Gulas Bavel. There was Koresh giving reshus for some Yidden to come back. Shish Nas Shtaim LeDaryavish, the second year of Daryavish. No, this could mean Daryavish Hamadi or Daryavish Hasheni. I would say, this is Daryavish Hasheni. I've seen other people learn different, but I think the Ravid means this is the second Daryavish, the one who actually built the Beis Hamikdash, and he's saying that the Beis Hamikdash was started to be built in the second year of Daryavish. Aval Yerushalayim loy nibnasa. The whole building of Yerushalayim didn't take place ad soif shloshim u'shtayim l'Artachshasta, till the 32nd year of Artachshasta, who was the same as Daryavish, according to Chazal, right?
Artachshasta was a title given to every Persian king.
Right.
Like Paro, to Yuri King, and Caesar to Roman Emperor.
Exactly. So therefore they're the same person. So from 2 to 32 is 30 years later. That was when the city was settled. Nehemiah realized that his work was ended, and he went back to Bavel, where he had a job as the king's cupbearer. And that's what's going to happen when Mashiach comes. When Hashem redeems us, the Jews won't go right away to Eretz Yisrael. They'll bring them to the nation, the midbar, the desert of the nations. Yeah. So
it's clear that the Geula won't be automatically in Eretz Yisrael. It'll be like it was by Mitzrayim, by Bavel. They'll go to a specific place, then they'll be gathered from there. And you see, even compare the so-called miracles in Israel, it's stupid, because all these miracles took place out of Eretz Yisrael. The miracles in Israel all took place in Mitzrayim, and not actually in Eretz Yisrael. So they can't be serious, therefore. The comparison can't be serious.
Because a miracle in Mitzrayim is greater, you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, these miracles all happened in Chutz La'aretz at a time when they didn't, so to speak, have the Kiddush Haaretz. Because they say, because of the holiness of Israel, that's why we have these miracles. But
we see it's not true. We see we had miracles
in Mitzrayim, we had all these miracles, and in the desert, we're together around Eretz Yisrael. No, you can't consider the miracles of Yeshua greater than the ones we see in Mitzrayim, because it says, "Lo kam now we came over to Yisrael, also after Asher Shalosh Shalas with Paro." So what Moshe Rabbeinu did will be great anywhere that ever was. Even Yeshua. Now, why weren't Yeshua's as great? Because by Yeshua, only the men who were at war saw them. But by Moshe Rabbeinu, the children saw them and the women as well.
Yeah.
So all the more so Israel are only the men at war, and not 600,000 for sure.
Okay. So now I'm going to skip ahead, and Vayoel Moshe, he quotes this whole rival here. So I read it inside. So skip to the end. Ad kan l'shoynoi umevur bazeh. So the Rebbe says we see from this rival she'af achar agula, even after the gula, well, Yitzchak Kodesh Baruch Hu la'achnisa miyad la'aretz. Kodesh Baruch Hu won't bring the Yidden right away to Eretz Yisrael. Ad she'yu koydem b'midbar shesham yiyeh habirur. They'll be in the midbar, and there there'll be a sorting out. And this sorting out is mentioned in Yechezkel. He didn't quote, the Rabbi didn't quote the whole thing, but we're going to look at it now inside. Take a look. Page 3, Maamar Koimis.
This is the Mishnah Adios, right?
That what I just read was Mishnah, yeah.
Oh, it's Yechezkel Perachaf.
Yechezkel Perachaf.
And here's Hosea too. Is there Hosea?
Yeah, we're going to get to it in a second. Yeah. So, Chaf, Pasuk, Lamed, Hey. Well, let's start with Lamed Daled. V'hoitzesi eschem min ha'amim. I'll bring you out of the nations. V'kibatzi eschem. I'll gather you min ha'aratzos, from the lands. Asher nefoitzesem ba'am, where you were scattered to. V'yad chazako v'yizrayin etuya. I'll gather you with a strong hand, with outstretched arm. U'v'chema shvucha, and with anger that's poured out. V'hevesi eschem el midbar ha'amim. I'll bring you to the desert of the nations. V'nishpati itchem sham, and I'll judge you there. I'll debate with you, panim el panim, face to face. Kasher nishpati es avosechem b'midbar eretz Mitzrayim, just as I did in the midbar out of Eretz Mitzrayim, brought the Jews out of Mitzrayim and brought them into the midbar. Keini shafet itchem, so too I will judge you. Neum Hashem Elokim, v'ha'avarti eschem tachas hashavet. He says he'll bring them under the staff and he'll choose out the good and the bad. And then it says, I'll bring you into my covenant. This is the part about starting out. I'll sort out from you those who rebel against me. I'll gather them, taka. They'll be gathered from the world from their places, but they won't come to Eretz Yisrael. Okay, so that's this birur. And Rabbi Victor Miller used to speak about the birur as being part of Golus.
The who?
Rabbi Victor Miller spoke about the birur as being part of Golus. In other words, we're not talking necessarily about a literal desert, that they're going to go out into some place where there's nobody living.
Golus is like a desert, spiritually a desert.
Right. The Malbim says on these psukim, I didn't copy it here, but he says that the desert here is not necessarily a desert, it means a place where the Yidden will have trouble living, they won't have land, they won't have food.
Golus is like a desert to us.
Right.
Because Golus doesn't have, everything spiritual like Eretz Yisrael has. So us being in Golus is like being in desert. Oh, by the way, maybe we'll get details now, but the Dubner Maggid even says on Parshas Bamidbar that us being Golus is like being in a desert. So to prepare us for the future Golus, we're put in a desert first. That's to prepare us for Golus. Because
Golus is like a desert. Oh, okay,
yeah.
Good.
So I won't say it, but there's a whole big thing about this, how the whole point of that was to prepare for the future Golus.
Right. So
it wasn't permanent redemption. It was not meant to be permanent.
So in this desert, the spiritual desert of Golus, that's where Yidden are going to be sorted out. And it's Hashem's tool. Rabbi Victor Miller brought another pasuk in Navi in Amos. It says that kasher yinoya bakvara, just like a person sorts out grain in a sifter, that's what Hashem's doing in Golus. He's sifting out the bad from the good, and he's bringing only the good Yidden back to Eretz Yisrael.
Because they're all mixed together, there's no sorting. Only scare them out, then you can distinguish.
So it could be this idea of gathering all the Yidden from all over the world to one place is like sort of like a country like America, where there's all kinds of people mixed into one place, all from different countries. That's the idea of this midbar. It's a place where all the Yidden they're gathered, but they're not gathered there at Yisrael. They're gathered to another place where they could be sorted. Okay, and
by the way, even in other places, there's no such thing as any country in the world that has purely that nationality.
Yeah, nowadays it's becoming very rare.
Even hundreds of years ago, there were people who said how we have so many people gathered to our country. So if there's not one country, even now, they purely had this nationality. There's not even North America.
So now in Vayoel Moshe it continues. Don't put this away yet. Those who remain after this sorting, Yasu Tshuva Shlema, they'll do complete repentance. Now what's this Hosea? The Rebbe doesn't say where Hosea is, but it's in Pittel Base. And notice Rashi mentions it in his Pirush on Yecheskel. Look at the bottom of Yecheskel. I highlighted it here. Rashi says right. So this is, by the way, it's the Haftorah for Parshas Bamidbar, 2 weeks ago. And it says in the pasuk Hosea Perek Beis pasuk Tes Zayin, it's talking before that. It talks about how the Yidden sinned and they did Averis, so they're like a Zoina, and then Hashem comes to bring them back. First He brings them to the midbar. I'll seduce her, I'll convince her. I'll bring her, the mashal for the Yidden, into the midbar. And then I'll speak to her heart and try to convince her to come back and do tshuva. Okay, and Rashi again on this pasuk mentions Yecheskel, so it goes both ways. Rashi says, so clearly this is what Satmar Rebbe means when he says Hosea. Okay, Ad Kan.